you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan?
Vaughn Gittin Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Rigid Industries, DirtFish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride. Amy Houde.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Houde, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Back in the house in Parker, Arizona, in the Down and Dirty Radio Show studios. That's right. Been on the road last weekend up there at DirtFish Rally School, airing remote from up there in Snoqualmie, Washington. Good times. Had my good friend Levi LaValle up there with me, and Cole Catu, another up-and-coming young gun, snowcross racer / terracross racer. We're taking in a little rally training and did a little work with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. There was an awesome kid up there with his wish, and got to spend 3 days at DirtFish with him, and definitely all good stuff, and he was just absolutely thrilled, and just a solid young kid and rally fan. So very lucky to be able to take a class the same 3 days that he was, up there. But, back here in Parker, Arizona, and I got to tell you, this week, all about Vegas to Reno, the longest off-road race in the United States, coming up this weekend. Not this weekend, actually this Friday. It's such a long race, they started on a Friday instead of a Saturday. So throw you traditional desert racing fans for a little loop, kind of like the Baja 1000. Only 2 races a year. We start early. One is Vegas to Reno. The other is the Baja 1000. So that all going down in Vegas this week. I will be in action in the number 15 trick truck, and it's qualifying day Wednesday. Thursday we've got contingency, and then Friday we've got race day. Just a note, I will be with General Tire. We will be doing some live radio from contingency, 10 a.m. Pacific, Thursday, live from Vegas. We're going to have Team General Tire on air with me. Probably going to do an hour, 90 minutes of radio. We'll see what our time slot looks like, but that's all going to happen about 10 a.m. on Thursday, live from Vegas with Team General Tire. So, Mark Burnett, C.J. Hutchins, Mikey Childress, Jerry Zayden, Jim Riley, my boy Jim Riley. Should be a good time, so hopefully all of you can tune in this Thursday for that. But this week's show, man, it's a banger of a show we got on tap. Doing a little different. Our first guest going to be calling in about 25 minutes at this point. It's going to be R.J. Anderson. That's right, Mr. XP1K, Mr. Polaris RZR. He's going to be calling in. We're going to talk about that epic first win in Pro 2 in the Lucas Oil Off-Road Series about a week and a half ago there in Baja. So that's right, debut event down in Baja. RJ taking home his first Pro 2 victory. So we're going to get the skinny on that, maybe his Terracross win. Talk about some of the upcoming events he's got. He's actually in action at Vegas to Reno in a RZR, teaming up with Coastal Motorsports. So he's going to be in action this weekend. And we're going to talk about that new RZR launch. I want to get the skinny on all these new RZRs from the guy that's pretty much driven them all at this point, RJ. So going to be a great interview with RJ Anderson coming up. And then Jen Hell capping off the first hour, starting up hour number 2. Jen Hellstrom's going to be calling in, and she was there in Baja at the Lucas event. I know we didn't get to talk much about it. This really was a groundbreaking event with short course going to Baja, and so we're a little bit delayed in our coverage of it, but we are going to bring it to you. It's worth talking about. And Jenn Hellstrom was there. A lot of you know her. She calls in, does some reporting from time to time, also does a lot of work with the show behind the scenes with me. But she was there. She's going to be talking about Lucas and kind of the implications and what happened down there in Baja, and also Red Bull Air Race. I know last year we worked on Red Bull Air Race, had Kirby Chambliss on air. We're going to try and get Kirby back on at some point before the event in Vegas. But yeah, man, it's big. I mean, Air Race, this is a global property. They only come to the United States once, maybe twice a year, and it's huge. And we're going to talk with Jen. She's in Vegas. She's working with Red Bull on Air Race. We're going to get skinny on this, and I know it's early because it's not till October, but it's really going to kind of set the stage. And we're going to be talking about Air Race up until the event. So hang tight, because this is epic. And I just already have to say, if you're going to be in Vegas around Air Race, get out to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. No excuses. One of the greatest spectacles in motorsports, hands down. And then capping things off, Amy Houde, like she always does, she is calling in from Canada. But joining her, Jacqueline Carrizosa is going to be calling in. And a lot of you, I'm sure, follow her on social media. The girl kills it. She's a Navy veteran. She's also a professional shooter. She does shooting training. She's from Vegas. She was a Miss Mint finalist. She's also racing Vegas to Reno on a motorcycle. She's part of an all-female motorcycle team. It's going to be a great interview. Stoked to have her finally calling into the show. I got to meet her in Vegas back in March, and just definitely good people. So stoked to finally have Jackie on air calling in with Amy Houde. Amy and her are also good friends as well. The Moto Chicks, they stick together. And then big DirtFish Rally Report. We're going to get to that in just a second. We got Motocross results, TORC results. We'll talk some more about Vegas to Reno. So all in all, great show lined up today. And I'm just stoked, stoked for this week, man. It's going to be fun. Vegas to Reno, coming off some training up at DirtFish, and always love getting my training in up there at DirtFish. Always learn something. No matter how many times you go up there, you can always perfect yourself as a driver. It's funny. I got done driving, driving these rally cars up there at DirtFish for 3 days, and you're backing cars into a corner, and they're all-wheel drive, and literally you can drive those things so ridiculously hard into corners, and those cars just stick. And I absolutely love it. If you haven't figured out by now, I'm so passionate about the sport of rally. Haven't been able to compete. Driven GRC Lights cars in testing. Spent a ton of time in stage rally cars, especially up there at DirtFish, but never actually competed in rally. It's coming. I promise it's coming. But yeah, it always amazes me. And so I get done with that. 2 days later, we're here in Parker. We go out and we go to test the trophy truck. And these things stop really well. I mean, for what they are. We've got brand new Jamar brakes on the truck this year. Jamar coming on board as a great sponsor, best brakes in the industry. So if you're looking to outfit your off-road car with brakes, Jamar, solid. That's all there is to it. Go with Jamar. But we go to test, right? And I'm used to these break points now. I drive it into corners in the rally car because I spent 3 days in one, right? Go into the first corner in the trophy truck, and this is our test course. I've taken this corner in my career probably 10,000 times. Seriously, it's a hard 90. It's definitely a hard 90. You kind of trail brake into it, pitch the car a little bit, sticks, and then you shot out like a cannon, right? I go into this corner. I've never blown it in 15 years of taking this thing, right? I go into that corner, and I blow through it. I got on the brakes like I would in the rally car, and seriously, just blow through the thing, through the ditches, rocks going everywhere, and it's kind of blind for the guys that are set up. They can kind of hear, but it goes over a crest, and you can't really see what's down there. And everybody's worried. I start hearing on the radio, "You all right? You're all right? You're all right?" And here I come laughing, and I'm like, "Oh, well, these trophy trucks, they sure don't stop like a rally car, right?" Guys like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I blew that corner." They're like, "How did you blow that corner?" corner. You've never blown that corner. I mean, I know it's there. I can drive this test course in my sleep, and somehow I just blew through it. I pull in after we do 3 or 4 laps. We pull it in to check over everything and make sure no leaks or anything before we go out and do some more laps. And, man, there's greasewood marks all over the front of the truck and branches everywhere. The truck was so nice and clean, and here I go, and literally within 30 seconds of being in the truck, man, that thing was dirty and just thrashed. So, note to self, trophy trucks do not stop like rally cars. Just not happening. That is my story of the week. Thank you, DirtFish. I guess somehow we need to figure out how to get these 5,000-pound trucks to stop like a 2,500-pound or 2,000-pound rally car. We get that accomplished, and then we are then we're doing something, right? It was definitely fun times. Truck dialed in. Just got a fresh engine in there from Kincaid, and it's definitely looking forward to this week. It should be solid. A stacked entry list at Vegas Reno, just ridiculous. Never ceases to amaze me. And Best in the Desert, they got a press conference on Thursday announcing 3 new events for 2016. So a lot of you, think desert racing is stale. I got to tell you, Best in the Desert begs to differ. I will be at that press conference. I'll be live tweeting from it. But stoked to see what Casey Folks has up his sleeve. I kind of have a really good idea. Nothing I can disclose on air yet, but I think it's going to be some really groundbreaking announcements coming out of Best in the Desert for the 2016 calendar. So you off-road fans, definitely lots more coming at you. From Best in the Desert, man. The sport continues to grow. People say, it's dead. Off-road racing's dead. It's a dying sport. I'm going to tell you, man, over 300 entries for Vegas to Reno. The Mint, it was a sellout. They had, 50 people on the wait list. The UTV class continues to blow minds. Trophy truck would continue to blow minds, with entry lists and Best in the Desert. I don't know. You people that saying it's dying, I don't know what you're looking at, because as far as I'm concerned, it's, the sport's as healthy as it's ever been. New sponsor dollars coming in left and right. It's all good stuff. But speaking of DirtFish, speaking of rally, we are going to get to our DirtFish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at DirtFish Rally School. Find out more information on the web, www.dirtfish.com. And the past couple of weeks, it's been a big couple of weeks for rally. First off, WRC, we're up at DirtFish, didn't get a hold of that, so we'll give you a quick rundown on results from that. Finland, this is the iconic rally. This is the one everybody loves. This is probably the most notable rally on the calendar. This is the big one. You talk about ones people want to win, and obviously Monte Carlo. Everybody wants to do that, but aside from that, Finland, this is one of their big events. Say Monte Carlo, Finland, those are the 2 big ones, right? Rally GB, just not what it used to be, man. Everybody loves, everybody wants the Rally GB from years ago, It's just not the same as it used to be. Still notable, but yeah. Anyways, Rally Finland going off. Jari-Matti Latvala taking the win, and I got to tell you, that was 2 in 2 weeks. I guess he won also a vintage historic rally there in Finland the weekend before. Solid effort by him taking home that victory. It seems like he's getting his legs as of late. It seems like he's getting quicker and definitely cutting some time out of Sebastian. So Sebastian finishing up in second, Mads Osberg in third, Neuville in fourth, and Tonic rounding out your top 5. So we're not going to spend too much time talking about WRC as these results are a little old, but Germany up next on the calendar coming up here in actually a couple of weeks. So looking forward to Germany and seeing how this wraps this season kind of winds down. But big news, those new WRC cars coming in. If you haven't seen the pictures of them, man, those things look beast. They look like beasts. Can't wait to see those in 2017 coming in, and Toyota jumping in, and WRC definitely growing. I think 15 and 16 going to be kind of down years, but I think 17, man, when that year hits, it's gas on, game on for WRC. I think it's going to kind of be back to the WRC that everybody wants and and expects. So all good stuff. And then we had Canada. Canada on the calendar for WRX, World RX, and making their North American, their one trip to North America there in Canada, Troy River. And, that's always a fun one because you get some great Canadian drivers. Looks like Patrick Carpentier, he was entered. Also, I think I saw Alex Tagliani in a lights car. He was entered. So, you get some interesting, interesting names. I know Antoine Lestage raced last year in a lights car. So you always get some name drivers pop up. But Davy Janey ended up taking home the win in the final. Topi Heikkinen in second. And then Tanner Faust, the American, going up there doing battle in the RX field. And Tanner Faust taking home that third. So and then 4th through 6th, Tommy Rustad, Andreas Backerud, and Matthias Ekstrom. Right now, championship points, Petter Solberg, man, he's just dominating right now. Backerud Blue, our boy Backerud, he is in second, though. Johan Kristoffersen third, Timmy Hansen fourth, and Davy Janey with that victory popping up there into fifth. Reynes Nittis in the not in the M Sport car. Don't mean to say that. The Olsberg car, he is sitting there in sixth position. So solid. Solid event up there in Troy River. A little bit different event. That one to me always has a little more of a GRC feel with the track layout. RX always used to running the purpose-built facilities. When they run there at Troy River, almost has a GRC feel to it, because it's more of a temporary type track. So and that could be why Tanner Faust did so well. He always does well in RX, but maybe he's feeling a little more at home with track layout and such. But I don't know. All speculation. I'm just rambling. I'm just your rambling radio host today. That's for sure. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't pay attention to me. Anyways, RX happening up there, getting back into the swing of things for RX though, and we just got done with Canada. Looks like Norway in a couple of weeks is up next on the calendar. Then France, Barcelona, Turkey, Italy, and rounding things out in Argentina. I got to tell you, this is one heck of a stretch. Starting in April, running all the way through almost December. I mean, this is a true world championship here with RX. Only thing we need is in a United States round. I know my GRC friends are killing me for saying that, but man, wouldn't you love to see an RX round in the United States? I know it'd be kind of treading on GRC turf and stuff like that, but I would love to see the crossover of drivers, run that. Or for that matter, have a GRC event in Europe and have the RX drivers go over and run that. So you go either way. I just want to see the mashup. I want to see Backerud and Solberg and Nittis and Topi back in a GRC car and Teamer and I just want to see them all battle it out. Liam, so I don't care who sanctioned it. Let's just make it happen. True Super Bowl of Rallycross. X Games definitely hasn't been that the past couple of years. Used to be, and I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, it's definitely time. So I don't know. I'm just rambling again today, like I said, and giving you my opinions. And I don't know, any of you want to give me your opinion, always at JimBeaver15 on Twitter. Hit me up. Love to hear you. Love to hear your opinions. And I think the takeaway from all this is we have two very, very solid rallycross organizations in the world with RX and GRC, and I think it's great that both are thriving, both are growing, and both have absolute stacked fields of drivers, and I think that's what's great. I don't care if you're an RX fan or you're a GRC fan, you got to appreciate the drivers in both series, and you got to appreciate that both are healthy, thriving, and growing, and I think that's what's cool about it. Not many motorsports can support two healthy sanctioning bodies in series. We've seen IndyCar, pretty much self-destruct over it. We've seen short course, and the struggles they've had. It's always scary when you have two sanctioning bodies, but somehow Rallycross has figured it out. Both are growing, thriving, have great sponsors, great drivers, great events, and so there you go. And then speaking of GRC coming up, our friends at Subaru making a big announcement. They're in D.C. this weekend. Last year's event winner, Patrick Sandell, just a note there. But making a big announcement, Subaru Technica STI, International. They are going to be the title sponsor of the doubleheader in Los Angeles, and because of that, not only are Bucky Lasek and Sverre Isaacson, not only are they competing, Subaru going to field 2 more cars, a total of 4 Subarus going to do battle in Los Angeles as they are the title sponsor. David Higgins and Travis Pastrana in action. I got to tell you, that's awesome. I'm excited over that. Anytime you get to see Higgins in a GRC car, it's exciting. The guy can just flat wheel anything, and and I've long said I think if Higgins ran full time in GRC, he'd be definitely a top 3 guy, every round. But Pastrana's Mr. Excitement. He can win. Anytime he shows up, he's a threat for a podium in anything he drives. And so, I'm excited about that. Los Angeles, the doubleheader, it's going to be one you can't miss. That's for sure. But coming up this weekend, DC, great event in itself, and Patrick Sandell definitely looking to repeat there. But it's 4 Subarus. Who saw that coming? It's definitely going to be awesome seeing Higgins in there, Pastrana. It's and a doubleheader. You get a double dose of it. So those of you listeners in SoCal, I know we got plenty of you. You definitely want to tune in for that. Tune into TV, tune in, over at the track. No excuse not to get out there. Get your doubleheader tickets, take the kids. The open paddock area of GRC, second to none in motorsports. I mean, a lot similar to short course. I shouldn't say that, but definitely going to be fun. So get your tickets, get out there. No excuse not to be there if you're in SoCal. It's definitely where you want to be that weekend, for sure. So, that's your DirtFish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at DirtFish Rally School. Find out more information on the web, www.dirtfish.com. Looking for a 10% off code? Look no further than the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Just skip over to our website. If you're listening on the website, great. But right there under today's show and last week's DirtFish show, we got a coupon code there. We're 10% off any classes at DirtFish. Use that code, book your class, and, tell DirtFish thank you for supporting the Down and Dirty Radio Show. It's, I've been rambling here for 20, 30 minutes. It's kind of weird to start the show out this way, but it's flowing. It's working all right. That's for sure. But it's, been fun so far, but we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, RJ Anderson, he is going to be calling in to the show. And we're going to be talking a little bit of everything with RJ. Should definitely be fun. Talking some Razors, talking some Lucas, talking some Vegas to Reno. And I also know he was doing a little testing with some rigid lights. So we're gonna check in on those and see how everything went, and probably talk a little Terracross too. So this is a Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris RZR. We'll be back after this break, and be sure to tweet me at JimBeaver15 if you've got any questions for RJ Anderson. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XT Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XT Series wheels at kmcwheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? DirtFish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, DirtFish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, DirtFish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, DirtFish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit DirtFish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from DirtFish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DirtFish Rally.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm your host, Jim Beaver, and talk about another great Monday morning in the house here in Parker, Arizona, in the studio. And man, it's a big week for me. It's race week. Get you amped. We've got the longest off-road race in the United States, all of about 550 miles happening, all the way from Las Vegas to Reno, Nevada. I got to tell you, the only downer about the whole event, I wish they'd start in Reno and run to Vegas. It's such a buzzkill to run this whole thing. You get to Reno and then have to turn around and got like a 12-hour drive home. I hate it. I wish they'd start everything, have all the festivities in Reno, and run it all the way to Vegas. That way I'm only 2.5 hours from my house. So, yeah, that's just me, personal opinion. A little selfish, but if they decided once in a while to run a Reno to Vegas, no complaints here, and I'm pretty sure most of the drivers in SoCal and Reno would tell you the same. But most of the guys from SoCal and Vegas would tell you the same. But I'm sure the people from Northern Nevada, NorCal, and up in the Northwest, they would differ. They love the Vegas to Reno format, but that's why I think we ought to switch it up every year. Same course, just run it backwards once in a while, and I guess the comedy behind it is we all call it the Beatty to Dayton because it's not actually Vegas to Reno, but I guess Vegas to Reno sounds a little better. But not exactly Vegas to Reno, but pretty darn close, anyways. 550 miles, and we run through some sheer craziness. One place called Death Mountain that we run up, and it's an old mining road. Literally sheer cliffs on one side and, mountain on the other. Pretty narrow. We used to race at full speed. Now they've got it relegated to, I think, 35-mile-an-hour speed limit. And they actually have radar guns checking us, but still very, very scenic, especially now that we're running at, slower speed. You actually get a chance to look at the view you have up there, and it's pretty remarkable. Some beauty, Nevada, it's a little bit of everything. Those of you who haven't really toured Nevada, you think, Laughlin, Vegas, Reno, it's all casinos and glitz and glamour. I got to tell you get away from Vegas and that place is, it's a wasteland. Why do you think Area 51's there? There is some beauty up in the mountains to be had, but I got to tell you, for the most part, Nevada, aside from some beautiful little towns here and there, the place is literally desolate. There's absolutely nothing. There's a reason why they keep all the aliens stuffed away in Area 51 and nowhere in Nevada. It's because nobody's going to go up there and really inspect to see if there's any aliens actually there. So, and I guess if the aliens somehow got out of Area 51, they'd probably die before they got to civilization. So, that's the truth behind the matter. I don't know. Hit me up on Twitter at JimBeaver15. Let me know. I want to know. Have you guys actually seen Nevada outside of Vegas? I want to know how many of you have actually been to anywhere in Nevada other than Reno, Vegas, Laughlin. I want to know. Hit me up. And the same thing goes, a lot of you have been Mesquite. I'm sure you drove to Salt Lake City and said, I've been outside of Vegas. I drove to Mesquite. I'm talking real Nevada. Ely, Elko, have you driven up to those places? It's pretty insane. So hit me up. I want to know how many of you actually, I know we got a lot of Southwest listeners and a ton of you in Vegas. I want to know how many of you actually been through the wasteland of Nevada out there outside of the major cities, and that's no knock on people live in Nevada. It's just the fact of the matter. There's a place in Arizona the same darn way. So if you driven from Phoenix to to Los Angeles, you see the same thing in Arizona. But right now we got RJ Anderson calling in. We'll see if we can pick up Mr. Razor. How's everything going, RJ?
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
I am doing all right, man. Just getting ready for Vegas to Reno this week, and I know I was looking at the entry list, and I know you shot me a text, but it sounds like you're going to go out there and do a little battle in Vegas to Reno as well.
Yeah, I get to come play in the desert one more time. We had a pretty good run at the Mint 400, so I got rehired.
Yeah.
I didn't lose my rights, so I'll be in the Coastal Razor.
Yeah, these guys have such a solid effort, man. It's got to be cool to you to jump into a car that has got a chance at winning,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Scott Kiger, the owner, he wasn't able to go to the Mint, so he kind of was like, "Well, good luck. I need you to drive this thing." So yeah, I got to get my feet wet in that thing, and that was really the first time I ever drove it. Was off the start of the Mint 400. So now I know what I'm getting myself into, and I'm excited. I'll be doing the last stretch, so I'll be finishing up the race.
Oh, you'll definitely be at night then. You'll probably get to do some driving in the dark, huh?
Yeah, exactly. From the sounds of it, I've never done Vegas to Reno, but the sounds of it, I got a little bit of the tricky section, and it'll most likely be 100% dark by the time I even get in the car.
Yeah, well, in the last 50 miles of Vegas to Reno, it's just it's brutal. You run up this switchback mountain with all these rocks and boulders, and it's like after you've done 500 miles, it's like the last 50, let's throw you to the wolves and see if you can actually finish the thing,
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. I'm not going to get no easy driving, but we're actually doing 3 different drivers, so it won't be too bad on us as far as
Yeah. I got a question for you because I've never I drove a Desert SR1 once, but it wasn't for any sustained amount of time. Compare your Works RZR that you race in Works to one of these Desert RZRs.
Yeah, so basically, my Works car is, you want as light of a car as possible. So, I mean, we bed deletes, we do somewhat smaller tires. I mean, we do land rush starts, so you want your car to be as quick and snappy as possible, and a lot of that relates to weight. We're only racing 45 minutes in the Works car, where in the Desert car it's much longer races. So we don't have big gas tanks. We just run stock gas tanks, and basically as light of a car as you can have in Works is ideal, where in the Desert you're more looking for a car that you're going to finish 500 miles,
Yeah, definitely carrying a lot more weight in the Desert car.
Yeah, exactly. And the Desert car is more just, rolling weight. You want to be able to get the car going 80 miles an hour down the lake beds and the fast gravel roads, and you don't necessarily care how fast it gets there. But a Works car is almost opposite. You only need it to go 60 miles an hour, but you want it to get there as fast as possible.
Yeah, Works, it looks like those courses, especially, I'm familiar with the Havasu one, but past that, I mean, it looks like pretty technical stuff, where it's a lot of, go quick turn, and not where you really get it up to speed very often.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're a lot of fun. It's the closest thing I can relate to a desert race without doing desert racing, because we get to go on the moto sections of a lot of these tracks, and then we go out into like what we call the desert section, and they're like 7-mile loops on average, I would say. So it's the closest thing to a desert race, but it's nowhere near the same.
Yeah, for sure. Well, how was it, like the UTV World Championship that Joey D and the Martellis put on? I mean, I know, they had the desert course there, but then they had, the I guess it would be the short course. How was that? I mean, was that comparable to a Works race? I mean, the shorter event they ran, for you guys in the production cars?
Yeah, exactly. So I got to do, the last 3 laps or 4 laps in the desert race. So I did both. I did the desert race and the production race, and exactly, that's definitely the same style as like a Works race. There wasn't really much of a motocross section.
Yeah.
Works, we a lot of times actually have some pretty big jumps and doubles and stuff like that, but there wasn't much of that in the World Championship. But the dust was insane at that race. I mean, you could barely see it. In the first lap, I had to basically stop in one section, and I ended up going off into a rain runoff big ditch. So the visibility was pretty bad. And Works, they do a good job of watering the track. I told Joey for next year I'm gonna have to sponsor the event and buy him a water truck so we could see, because the race was crazy, and just the survival rate was key there.
Yeah, it was nutty calling it, because it was just like a dust bowl, and every once in a while you'd see a car pop out of the dust, and you could tell by the colors. But I think it was your car that kept throwing us for a loop, because your car is different on both sides, or at least the one you ran at the UTV World Championship was, and it was like, holy crap, depending on the side, you couldn't really tell what color it was, Yeah,
exactly. I had a different color on each side, and then I was down for the first 2 laps, but right when I got going, I was just kind of with the lead group and passing some of the leaders. So I had a lot of people confused whether I was in it or not. So, I definitely threw you guys for a loop on that one.
Yeah, for sure. So, let's talk a little bit, though. I wanted to get you on, Lucas, you guys went down there to Baja. It had to be pretty special. 1, racing short course in Baja, but 2, first Pro 2 win, man. I got to congratulate you on that. That was huge.
Yeah, thank you very much. We've been working hard for that one. So just to get the weight of a first win off our shoulders was good, and to do it down in Baja where the fans are just killer, and I'm stoked to be able to get down there to race, because I mean they just love off road, and I think that's a good stepping stone for our sport is to go international, and get to go down and race in Baja, and to be able to land my first win there at the very first time at that track was killer.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, do you think, obviously this was year 1 of this event. I know, they started out and it was going to be an exhibition, then they ended up making it points. I mean, do you think this is something that, I know the Ampudia has put a ton of time and energy into this, but you think it's something that's going to be on the calendar from here on out? I mean, was it that big of an event?
Yeah, I would imagine that we're going to be going back. I mean, they've done all the hard part now, so going back is going to be a lot easier. And I think a lot of the short course guys, they're not used to going down to Baja, so there's so many teams that were just skeptical about bringing semis, and they didn't even want to go, and so many people, and the Ampudias worked so hard on the event and tried so hard to get everyone down there, and they even hired personal friends and coworkers to ride down with some of the teams so that they felt safe and had a translator. So they went above and beyond for everyone, and the event turned out killer. I mean, the second day, Sunday, was sold out. I think there's 7,500 people there or something.
Jeez.
So it was a huge deal for short course, and not knowing, no one knew how it was going to go, because the fans down there aren't used to really buying tickets, for Baja and stuff. They just kind of show up and stand on the sides of the road, so no one really knew how it was going to go. We all knew that they wanted to come, but to pay for tickets is not something they're used to, and so to have that many people come with their families and check it out for the very first time, I mean, talking to the fans, every single one of them loved it. I mean, I got to watch a Pro 4 race from the stands, and they were so into it every time someone made a pass or something. So I think it's going to come back for sure. I would say that we're definitely looking at racing there next year.
Yeah, awesome. And, talking about your Pro 2 win, I mean, obviously you've taken quite a few victories in Pro Light. I mean, how was it finally, Pro 2, I mean, Pro Light, that field is, it's stacked, but, it's a little chaotic at times. I mean, Pro 2, you move up into this level, and, I mean, you have some elite level programs there. I mean, how was it for you? I mean, you're a driver/owner. I know I talked with your dad at length. I think it was out at Glamis at Camp Razor last year, and he's like, this program's all RJs. He's like, it's not Walker Evans, it's all RJs. I mean, that had to feel really good for you to be in there with these elite level programs, like Deegan and McCachran and Menzies, and, being a driver owner and to break through and take that victory.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we put so much effort into our program, and it's definitely a little bit smaller than those guys that you mentioned, like Deegan and Menzies and McCachran, and we're trying to do the best we can with what we have, and it's just a slow process. It's hard to just jump in and be full bore all of a sudden. So we've had some success in the Pro Light, and that's one reason I wanted to keep racing it, while I got my feet wet in Pro 2, is so that, if we had a bad weekend or something in Pro 2, we still had the Pro Light hopefully to help bring us podiums and results. And this year, I mean, we've been up front consistently in the Pro 2. We've led quite a bit of laps and just had small things happen, and whether it's mechanical on the truck or me making a mistake, and that kept us from keep landing on the podium. So to be able to go out to Estero and put just a solid race together and win is huge, for us having my own program and just all the sponsors that believed in me to go out and race the Pro 2. It's a huge step, and it's even a little bit more than I thought going into it. But I'm glad I did it, and I was just glad to be able to pay back all the guys that have invested in me and my program.
Yeah, for sure. So, generally it seems like, drivers get the monkey off their back and get the first one, and then they start rolling. So here's hoping, right?
Yeah, exactly. So now I know how it feels and what it takes to put together a full race. So hopefully I can just keep carrying that momentum and just keep landing this thing on the podium. We're leading the Pro Light points right now, and I'm only 4 points out of third in Pro 2. So if we could finish the year top 3 in Pro 2, that would just be killer.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's talk a little bit. I know, Polaris about a week and a half ago had their big, I don't know if you know it was a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, I guess at this point, had their big launch party out there in Vegas. I know I had an invitation and was going, and had a flood at my house that morning, and so I wasn't able to go. But yeah, it was pretty brutal. But yeah, take us through this launch, man. Some great new products coming out from Polaris. I know a big part of your program, big part of my program. I mean, take us through these, especially the new turbo. How is that thing, to get behind the wheel of?
Yeah, I mean, Polaris does it again. Every year it seems like around this time of year, the dealer show comes around and they just stick it to the competition again. I mean, they're so good at raising the bar, and that's what I love about being sponsored by them is they don't really make excuses. They just build the best products, and being a racer for them, you can't ask anything more. So the new products are killer. I mean, I guess the three I'll kind of touch base on is first the turbo. And I think it's going to be so fun. I think the guys that are doing desert racing are really going to find a big advantage with it. having the horsepower up in the high mile an hour range. It's not that much faster. It doesn't seem like out of the gate. You don't think like, oh, it's not gonna seat super hard. But once that turbo kicks in, it's like it just keeps pulling. I think it goes 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds. So for an off-road machine that anyone can go buy off the showroom floor, I mean, that is just insane. To go out of the box, have that much fun. So I think that machine is gonna really surprise some people, and I think the consumer that buys it is gonna be stoked with their investment. And then the other two that I was kind of excited about is they got the new the RZR S1000, which is an awesome machine for the guys that go on the trails. I go back east every once in a while and get to drive some trails, and the trail machines are just so much fun. They don't have much purpose for us out here west with the open desert, but the trail stuff. And then the last one that I'm stoked on is that I got to drive a little bit is the 900 Ace. I mean, it's basically a quad that you drive with a 900 motor in it, and the thing is just insanely fast. I mean, they showed a clip in the dealer show, and it's basically like pulling the front wheels off the ground because it's got so much motor for so little car. So that thing's a cool little machine. I think they're going to have some good sales, right, raising up that Ace brand with that, which is really cool.
Yeah, the Aces have always been kind of funny. I was always kind of one of those, well, where does it quite fit? But I think this new 900, I think it's going to turn some heads. I mean, it just looks silly fun to me. Looks like something you can just go, and I can only imagine going out to the dunes or something like that. One of those, it just looks like it'd be fun to drive,
Yeah, exactly. Right? The more horsepower, the better, right? So
yeah.
I think the Ace has a lot of people's eye. They're all kind of seeing where it goes, but now that they got some horsepower behind the thing, I think a lot of people are actually interested in it. So it'll be cool to see some cool builds go down, and that whole category gets some more attention.
Yeah, I definitely see that growing for sure. And then I knew we all knew it was coming, but XP1K3, you actually had your XP1K3 RZR on display, so that is definitely a go now, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're working on it. We haven't started filming just yet. We did a small teaser for the dealer show, and we actually had one of the cars on display. We have some fresh cars too that are coming out of the works. So couldn't drop all the tricks out of our sleeves. So Mark from Houde Racing Products is building two brand new killer cars. So it'll be cool to have those hopefully on display at Camp RZR for everyone to be able to come check them out. And I'm excited to start filming it. The X1K and then X1K2, we've had such good, so many people have been stoked on it, and it's kind of brought UTVs to the masses, which was the whole goal, and showed just what a RZR is capable of. So it's grown beyond what we thought it was going to be at first. So I'm just excited to be able to get a third shot at it and get to go try to find something that no one's done before in a RZR, and keep pushing the limits. It gets harder as they go on, with it's like, what do you do now?
Yeah.
For like the wall depth and world record jump and all these things, it's like trying to keep finding new things and, appeal to the consumer that like this is what a RZR is capable of. So I have a ton of fun doing that, and then the finished result always turns out killer.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. He was talking with Ken Block. He said the same thing about Gymkhana. He's like, it started out, and he's like, the first one or two were really, really easy. He's like, but then you have to keep upping yourself. And he's like, everybody keeps asking, when's the new Gymkhana coming out? And he's like, I honestly, he's like finding an idea that, we haven't done before, and, or that nobody's tried before. He's like, it gets tough. And I could see that with, because you guys, right from the get-go, you guys, came out firing with number one, and then number two, you definitely ramped it up. So it's like, really, you guys, I guess you could have started out a little less and then built up, but you guys right from the get-go, and I know how it is working with the Martellis. It's gas on all the way floorboard from, day one. So I'm anxious to see XP1K3 and what you guys have, coming at us.
Yeah, for sure. I tell you, brothers, they have a good vision always, and they're good ambassadors for our sport of off-road in general. So, I mean, working with those guys is killer, and they are really good at pushing the limits and, helping me push my own limits, which is a fun experience. It can get stressful and stuff at times for sure, but, like I said, the end result always turns out good, whether, no matter what happens through the film process. So, anymore, I used to always, hound them, like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And now I've just learned, like, don't tell me what you're planning. I don't even want to know what you're coming up with. I'll just show up with my suit and helmet and get in.
Yeah, right. I know you mentioned back there a few minutes ago world record jump, and I got to say, you from the get-go with this world record, distance jump. I mean, you pushed the limits, kept pushing it, and now it got to a point where it was just silly. And then, I know a good friend of mine, good friend of yours, Tanner Godfrey. He went and I got to say, with a walking stick, just flat threw down, and pretty classy on your part, the post you did. So tip of the cap to you. But I'm sure at some point you're going to want that back, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we did our job with it. The world record thing started back I think with the Nitro Circus days, jumping like a stock Rhino 50 feet or something, and so it kind of got started and then tapered off. So when we did XC1K, the original, we were like, let's get this thing going again. Let's not blow it out of the water, but let's put a good jump in the movie and try to get this thing ramped up, and it worked, and people started, beat our record. So then, and two, we were like, well, let's go a little bit farther again, and push it farther again, and went with a huge jump in the second video. So now Tanner going over 200 feet in a RZR. I mean, that's just insane for a small vehicle, So 200 feet is huge, and that's awesome for Tanner to go out, and he's got such a good attitude. So I'm glad he has it right now, and yeah, I mean, I guess one day that'd be the goal, is to try to get it back, but as far as three goes, I'm not sure, if there's room for that. It's getting to the point now where we've just used it as kind of like a stunt, where we spend 3 hours on it and move on, but it's getting to be a little bit more than that now. So we got to, with the budgets and everything, make sure that we're not allotting too much time just for one single stunt, So in the future, maybe in number 3, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's grown. I mean, like you said, it started off almost silly where people were jumping Rhinos 50 feet. It was just kind of an ongoing thing, and it really didn't take much effort, and you could really, beat it. But it's got to the point now where, it's a proper, 200 feet in a RZR in anything is no joke, but a RZR especially, I mean, I agree with you. It's something you really need to dedicate yourself to and really put the time in to make sure it's right, because jumping that far and that fast in a RZR, I mean, these things are super strong, but you definitely don't want something bad to happen.
Yeah, I mean, the speeds just to go 200 feet are so high now that if one little thing goes wrong, it's going to be a catastrophic get-off. So, I mean, you see it with the dirt bike stuff, and people are going to keep pushing the limits, but it's I'm glad we got it going, and I think it shows that in the RZRs people have just kept pushing it. So it's cool to see it get going and get a lot of attention.
Yeah. Well, before we let you go, I got one more question. I know my boys at Rigid shot me a text this morning, and you've got a chance to get your hands on one before I did, but from what I understand, you were out with the new Rigid Capture a week or two back. How was that thing?
Yeah, actually, when we got back from Mexico, my truck was in good shape, and we'd planned previously to do some shots with the Rigid Capture, but the truck was in perfect shape, so we were like, well, let's strap it on the front of the Pro 2 and go burn some laps. So the guys over at Lake Elsinore were awesome and worked with me on it, and they let me go out there and burn some laps at night, and all I had was the Capture on, no other lights, just the Capture with the GoPro in it, and the footage is killer. I mean, I got to go burn some laps pitch black around the short horse track, so that was cool all in itself. But yeah, I got some cool footage that I'm sending over to those guys, and I think that's a game changer. At SEMA, I know it won some awards and had a lot of attention all across the board. So I think the new Rigid Capture is definitely a game changer, and I think you're going to see that product around a lot here in the near future.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of directions they can go with it, and I think Ridge has been great. I know me on the desert side, working with them, because they'll send me an email and hey, we've got this new product coming out, and it's like kind of like Polaris. Rigid is kind of like the the Polaris lighting, where every single couple months it's like there's a new product comes out. It's like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Yeah, exactly, and not only a new product, but it's one of the best, and it's awesome working with those guys for sure. And this Capture, I mean, just the functionability. I mean, there's switches, and I could turn the light on and off from inside my truck, and record and stop from inside the truck. So it's killer. It charges the GoPro. I mean, it's a really cool light. I'm for sure. I'm for sure including it on my new RZR build.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call in, my friend. I guess we'll see you in a couple days out there at Vegas to Reno. If I don't catch up with you contingency, good luck, and look forward to seeing you in the finish line.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks a lot, RJ.
All right. Talk later.
All right. Bye. All right. That was RJ Anderson. RZR racer, Terracross racer, going to be doing Vegas to Reno, does works, XP1K2, short course and Pro Light and Pro 2. I mean, RJ is all over the place. Great catching up with him. Always a fun interview. Definitely a guy who is going places and making a name for himself in this industry, and always fun to catch up with him and talk some RZRs and short course and rigid capture. Definitely go over to rigidindustries.com. Check out that new rigid capture where you can put that GoPro right in the center of the light. All good stuff. But right now we're going to take a short break. When we come back, Jen Hellstrom, she's going to be calling in. We're going to be breaking down lures from Baja and talking maybe a little Vegas to Reno and Red Bull Air Race. All that and more when we come back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XD Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XD Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? DirtFish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, DirtFish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, DirtFish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, DirtFish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit DirtFish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from DirtFish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DirtFish Rally.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners and for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies, adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Looking to upgrade the brake system on your race car, pre-runner, or weekend toy? J-Mart Performance Brake Systems has you covered. An industry leader in performance braking systems, J-Mart can outfit your vehicle with the highest quality American-made calipers, rotors, master cylinders, hubs, turning brakes, and shifters for Volkswagens to trophy trucks and everything in between. For more information and their full product line, visit J-Mart on the web at jmartperformance.com or follow them on Instagram and Twitter at J-Mart Brakes. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm your host, Jim Beaver. Just got done with R.J. Anderson talking some RZRs, talking some Lucas and Baja, talking about the new RZR lineup, the rigid capture. Always a fun time when R.J. calls into the show. We're going to continue on in that short course talk and that Lucas Baja talk with Jenn Hellstrom, who's calling in right now. And she was down there in Baja taking it all in. How's everything going, Jen?
Hey, Jim. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Well, I know talking with RJ, man, he was pretty amped on Baja. Not only did he get his first win, but said just the event down there, the Lucas event, was pretty much amazing.
You know, it didn't surprise me, the fact that I've been to Baja numerous times for the 500, the 1,000, and the fans go nuts just to stand on the side of a course and watch a vehicle come by you for a split second. So the fact that now they can sit in the stands and watch action-packed racing for a full 3 hours, they went ballistic, to say the least.
Yeah, you know, and he, like he said, he's like, you know, these are people who are used to not paying for an event, you know, being able to see everything for free. And he says, I think it was kind of a toss-up. Lucas just didn't know if it was gonna work or not. But he said day number 2, he's like, it was a sellout. 7,500 people paid to get through the gate, and he's like, there was no seats left. He's like, so obviously it went over well.
Yeah, it did. If you can catch some video clips that are going around the internet and stuff, you see people jumping up and down in the stands, screaming for their favorite drivers, and it's a completely different atmosphere than you actually get in the States. I just think that it's new for them, and it's exciting, and it's thrilling. And on Friday, when I was there for practice, just the teams were out practicing, and they let people come in to sit in the stands and watch. And there were people wandering around the pits on call or on practice day, which you don't get that in the States. So it was really neat to see the excitement and the fans just lining up to meet their favorite drivers and getting a look at the truck and the pit crews working, which is also something different. They don't get to walk around at, you know, the 500 and the 1,000 and see the teams working on the trucks, whereas at Lucas Oil, they got to go right up to the pits, meet with the crews, look at the trucks, and just get a feel for everything that these guys do when it comes to a race weekend.
Yeah, you know, and I've always been one that has said, you know, us in the Southwest, where you're Arizona, California, Southern Nevada, we're all spoiled. You know, with anything. I don't care if you're an off-road fan, you know, short course fan, a rally fan, you know, being rallycross, you know, we don't really get many stage rallies, but Formula Drift, motocross, supercross, NASCAR, IndyCar, I mean, we have it all. There's areas of the country where they get none of that. You know, and I think we forget how well we have it, you know, and it's like, well, maybe I won't go out to this event because I know it'll be there next year. You know, and I think we're totally spoiled, and I think the people of Baja just, you know, they prove that. Like, you know, they don't get short course. You know, I'd have to look back. I can't think of the last time they ran a proper short course race at Estero Beach. Maybe back in the core days. I don't know, but I
want to say like maybe 2002 was the last I heard of, and I could be totally wrong on that, but it's been years.
Yeah, because I know, you know, they have some local stuff down there and things like that, but I mean a proper, you know what I mean, short course event. It's been quite a long time, and they came out in force, and showing, hey, we want this thing back. We want it again, and I think we're all spoiled here in the Southwest because we take all these events for granted.
Well, word through the grapevine is that there's a 3-year contract with Estero Beach, so we're looking to go back next year and the year after, and it'll probably be bigger and better too. I know that since it went really well this year, they're going to put more effort into the track and hopefully get more of the teams to go down there. Since, like RJ touched on, the Ampudias did put a lot of effort in making sure that the teams felt comfortable and safe, but once you get down there and you see these locals just want to be a part of what they're a part of, there's honestly not a worry in the world when you're out there at that track, and they just care about the racing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, and I don't fault, I don't fault, Estero Beach, or I don't know who the track owner is at the event, but I don't fault them for, they did what they needed to do to put on an event, but I don't fault them for not putting in tens of thousands of dollars in infrastructure because, at that point they didn't know if it was going to come back. And so, now I think for year number 2, they'll definitely put it in and it'll be a lot better racing next year.
Yeah, absolutely. The track was really neat. I like the fact that, it's been a long time since Lucas Oil has introduced a new track to the competitors. And even, as somebody that stands on the side and shoots pictures, after you're going to the same tracks after a while, it's kind of like redundant. So even for me, it was exciting to get out there and see the new course and my options of shooting from. But I know that this course was not like anything that we see in the States. You're pretty much racing on beach sand.
Yeah.
And the front stretch, these guys would get over 90 miles an hour in the bigger trucks just going along the front. So it was kind of equivalent to Crandon, but down in Baja.
Nice. Well, and talking about the sand in the track, I know obviously Pro 2, Pro 4, we'll get to those in a little bit, but Pro Light, man, there was nothing short of a lot of wrecks. I know DeBerti, Bean, Sheldon. I mean, it was pretty much just yard sale time. And what was going on down there?
Well, first off, after the Pro Light race, I nicknamed the track the Pro Light Graveyard because I'm pretty sure 4 to 5 Pro Lights got totaled just in one race.
Yeah.
So, what it was there was just a high-speed rhythm section, a whoop section, and some of the guys, if you didn't commit to it, you would just get sideways and sloppy and nose in, and next thing you know, it's sky land for these guys. So, and I know on Sunday they went through and kind of smoothed out a little bit for them, but it was all about commitment on that part, and some of the guys were just scared, and I don't blame them.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just, seeing the pictures and some of the video clips, I'm like, holy crap, what's going on down there? But, yeah, it sounded, I'm glad everybody's all right. I mean, DeBerti, I know he got the worst of it. Heard Bean knock some teeth out and, heard some concussions. And I don't know, I heard all kinds of things. But it sounds like, everybody's going to get back to 100% at some point.
Yeah, it was definitely the most carnage I've seen in a long time, just in one single race. I mean, these guys have been doing so good, especially for as large as the Pro Light class can get at times. You're looking at 20 trucks out there, and at the last race, they went from flag to flag with no wrecks. So it definitely went from one extreme to the other, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, then talking a little bit about Pro 2, obviously RJ breaking through with his first career Pro 2 victory. I know, just talking with him, that was huge for him. But how was the Pro 2 battle?
Pro 2 battle was it was pretty good. I know Bryce obviously won on Saturday, and then Sunday it got switched up. Bryce and Mac were the top qualifiers and ended up pulling a 6, so they got inverted 3 rows, and that gave RJ the perfect opportunity because he started on the front, and he ran with it and killed it, and nobody had anything for him. I know Bryce was up there right on him, and him and McCackron made some contact, which ended up spinning Bryce out and set him to the back. But even McCackron couldn't catch RJ, and not only did he win in Pro 2, but he also won in Pro Light, so it was a great day for him, and I know so many people were psyched to see him on top of that podium because he has been working really hard for it. And what a lot of people don't know is that's his team. He's in there, he's with his crew chief, working on the truck, figuring out what he can do better. And so it was a well-deserved win for RJ.
Yeah, well, that's like I talked with him. It was funny. I said, I talked with his dad, Randy, at Camp RZR for quite some time. We were just talking about just old days, because my dad used to race against Walker and some other stuff. But it switched to RJ, and he told me, Randy's like, I told him, he's like, go to school, get a real job. He's like, you don't want to be a race car driver. And and Randy said, if you're doing it, you're on your own. I think Walker Evans sponsors him with, certain things, obviously. But, this is 100% RJ's program. I mean, he runs it himself. He goes out and finds the funding. And, that's what I find impressive. I mean, he's a young guy and he's doing it. It's a smaller program, but he's making it work. And you got to respect that.
Yep, absolutely. You can give someone a race vehicle and put them in it and expect them to do good, but it also does come down to talent. And clearly RJ has it, not only just in, short course, but out in those razors. You watch his videos and it's like, gosh, what he's doing is mind-boggling. Yeah. I still want to know how the ending to XTK2, how he gets out of that thing that he's doing at the end where he's completely sideways. I want to see it. He left me hanging.
Yeah, exactly. There's an ejection seat up the side or something. I don't know. It should be
right.
Yeah, it should be interesting. All right, so we got to talk Pro 4. I mean, it's the same old story. I mean, who's going to catch Kyle LeDuc? I mean, it's almost become comedy at this point. It's like, I swear they've got they've got bets going on in Vegas, and it's kind of like Ronda Rousey. When's he going to lose? It's almost become silly at this point, and and it's not like he's racing against a bunch of nobodies. I mean, Bryce and Deegan and Renazetter and McCachran. I mean, these guys are elite level programs, and they got nothing for him.
They don't, and it's so at times it gets frustrating when you're sitting there in the stands and taking notes on it or taking pictures, and you're like, something happened. It's like we talked about last time. Everybody's just battling for second at this point. But the same thing happened. So Kyle won Saturday's race, and then qualifying for Sunday, they drew a 6th. So it also put him and Bryce back in the third row. And so everybody was kind of like, okay, now somebody else is going to win. And sure enough, the Pro 4 race was one of the best Pro 4 races that we've had this entire year. But I kid you not, Kyle just drives right past these people like it's a Sunday drive for them, and their grandpa driving in the left-hand lane when he should be in the right-hand lane. And it is mind-boggling. So what I've heard is there's a few people, Bryce Menzies, and so on, are building a new Pro 4. So a lot of people are looking forward to next year in the competition level that these guys are going to have when they have their new truck that's lighter and more competitive to Kyle's.
Yeah, and
so we'll probably see different people winning next year.
I mean, I my honest belief is at some point this year, I mean, obviously Kyle's going to win the championship, and I don't think he's going to win out. I think, somebody's some problem's going to pop up, and somebody will bump him or drive him dirty, or something will happen, and he's not going to win out. But I think he's going to win the lion's share of the remainder of the races. But next year, I think really this off season, I think you're really going to see these Pro 4 guys go back to the drawing board and figure something out. And like I've always said, he had his truck for sale forever. I mean, the one from last year that was still beating everybody. It was for sale. He's like, here, take it. Somebody buy it. It wasn't like he was hiding, any technology. He had it for sale, but I don't know. It's crazy.
I wonder if he could just take that thing and turn it into a Pro 2 and start beating everybody at Pro 2 as well.
Yeah, right. I don't know. It's pretty crazy, at this point. I don't know if we've seen this kind of dominance in off-road. I don't know. I'm just trying to think back, whether it be in desert, in unlimited class or short course. I really can't think back to when somebody's been this dominant.
Yeah, he's on his 10th win in a row, so obviously he's doing really well. But as I'm looking at the points right now, I mean, he is 54 points ahead of Ron McCachran and just 69 ahead of Bryce. So if something major does happen, there's, 4 more rounds?
Yeah.
Somebody could sneak up and take that. The odds of that happening are pretty low, but never say never, right?
Yeah, exactly. Something mathematically they do still have a chance. It's just I don't know. It's mind-boggling how fast he's been. So, yeah, let's talk a little bit. Got another big event coming up in Vegas this weekend, Vegas to Reno. You got to be excited about that, coming to your hometown, and over 300 entries, pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm always stoked for Vegas to Reno. It was actually one of those races when I was growing up. I'm really close with my brother, and him and his friends would go chase the race, and my mom would always be like, "No, Jen, you have to stay home. This is not for you." And now, not only does my brother go with Menzies and stuff, but now I go on my own and I chase the race, and I'm out taking my truck on dirt roads just to try and take a picture of these guys coming by me at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So my mom tried to stop me when I was young, but all it did was push me towards it.
Yeah, it didn't work so well, right? 300 and something entries. I mean, this is looking at the trophy truck field, or trick truck, I guess you should say. I mean, all the heavy hitters are there. Even BJ, who runs normally just runs score, he's coming out and playing. So I can't really think of anybody not on the entry list that should be there. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Vegas to Reno is kind of one of those unsung hero races. You get a ton of drivers out there for it just because it's such a well-known race within the industry, and it's not an easy one either. These people are going from, a Vegas elevation all the way up to Reno, and you're hitting temperatures of up to 115, 120 out there in the heat, so you can only imagine how hot the trucks get itself.
Yeah, and then there's I know there's tons of elevation change. I don't know the highest point on the course, but like you said, we go from Vegas, and there's places where we're, I think, 7,000-8,000 feet maybe. It's just it's pretty crazy, and just terrain changes, and racing across an entire state, 550 miles. I mean, it's definitely a tough one. It's tough on the crews. There's a point where it splits, and people got to go one way and the other way, and you got to run a split crew, and it's just definitely a pretty wild event.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So the events for it start on Wednesday for qualifying, which is out at Gene off of a secret location I probably can't say. Don't want to get myself in trouble, but I'm looking forward to qualifying as always, because you kind of get everybody there and see who's going to be the top gun for it, and then we have Tech out at Aliante on Thursday, and that'll be exciting. It's always a busy one for Vegas to Reno, and it's a lot of times too where people see each other again when they haven't seen each other since the Mint 400. So it brings some people back into it, which is good.
Yeah, for sure. And then I know another event in Vegas. We're a little premature on this, but about 2.5-3 months away. You're helping out Red Bull Air Race coming. What can you bring us in the loop on Red Bull Air Race? I think I opened the show and said anybody in Vegas, that weekend, you definitely need to go to Air Race. It's literally a spectacle. It's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. So I've been lucky enough to, when I worked for Red Bull in the past, go to Red Bull Air Race out in Monument Valley in Utah and San Diego, and they have it right over the water, and you can sit on the beach and watch it. But they're really switching it up the past 2 years here in the States, and they're doing it inside stadium. So it'll be out at the Speedway, and they have the pylon set up. The planes will race right through there, and a lot of activities is going on the infield this year. So you'll see Bryce Menzies out there doing demos. You'll see guys out on street bikes doing demos and all kinds of stuff to do. So save your calendars, open up for October 17th and 18th, and the main race day is the Sunday the 18th. So for sure, that's the day you want to be out there.
Yeah.
And tickets are even on sale now, so you can go to redbullairrace.com and get them ahead of time.
Sweet. Definitely, I'm sure you'll bring us in the loop as things get closer, and I'm gonna have to reach out. We'll have to get Kirby back on air at some point. He's a fun interview. That guy is all kinds of awesome.
Yeah, he's been with the series, I want to say, since they started. Obviously, he's a Red Bull athlete, and he's definitely one of a kind, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, he told me if I'm ever in Phoenix, he'll take me for a plane flight. And it was funny because this past weekend I was talking with Levi LaValle about it. He had an opportunity to go up with one of those. It wasn't Kirby, it was somebody else. And he's like, honestly, scared me to death. And this is a guy that jumped San Diego Harbor on a snowmobile. He said, literally, I thought I was dying. He's like, there came a point where I was passing out in the plane, and he's like, it was hilarious to hear Levi tell the story, but he's like, so much respect for those guys. He's like, I couldn't handle it.
Well, I know it was the same exact thing for Bryce Menzies. He got to go up, and I'm pretty sure he did black out for a few seconds. And so if you don't get to go and you need somebody to fill your spot, you just let me know, because I'm all for it.
Yeah, if I ever do go, or you go, or whoever goes, I want to get a GoPro and face it towards them, you know what I mean, just so you see your face. But it was funny hearing the stories about guys that have gone up. It's just, it sounds, how these guys do it, it's just absolutely impressive.
It is. And another really neat thing that Red Bull has that you'll probably see out at a race is the helicopter that goes upside down and does backflips.
Nice.
That is what I want to do for sure. So
awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call in, Jen, and we'll see you in a couple days there in Vegas and kick off some Vegas to Reno.
Absolutely. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Jen.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was Jen Hellstrom calling in. Definitely check her out on social media. She also owns Jen Hell Media Group and does a lot of work for racers and teams and organizations. And, Red Bull, one of them. She'll be helping out with the Red Bull Air Race. So a lot more coming on that. One of my favorite events of the year. And, we need to get Kirby dialed in for another interview on the show. Always fun. But, another event, as we kind of jump into things here. But another event we had over the weekend had TORC going down at Sturgis, not necessarily over the weekend, but it was happening up there at Sturgis. And Sturgis, man, they had TORC, they had some Terracross demos, AMA flat track. They just had everything. Sturgis just off the hook this year. It was an anniversary year. I know our friends at MTX Audio were out there in force, but Kyle Kleeman took home Pro Light on one of the days. Mittag and Cam Reimers rounding out your top three. Keegan Kincaid taking that Pro 2 win in the first round up there at Sturgis. CJ Greaves, Marty Hart, that was your 1, 2, 3. And then Johnny Greaves, and then rounding out the tongue-tied, the podium. We also had CJ and Mike Jenkins on the podium as well. And then the second round of racing up there at Sturgis at the Buffalo Chip. Mittag taking the win. Kyle Hart and Cam Reimers, that's your 1, 2, 3. And then your Pro 2 results. It was Keegan Kincaid, Marty Hart, and Doug Mittag. It was the sweep for Keegan Kincaid, so big congrats goes out to him in Pro 2. He's having a solid rookie campaign in Pro 2, that's for sure. And then Pro 4, your winner, CJ Greaves with Chad Horde and Mike Jenkins, your 1, 2, and 3. So solid racing up there at the Buffalo Chip, Sturgis, and TORC got a couple of rounds winding things down, all to the pinnacle of short course there at Crandon over Labor Day weekend. So lots to come from TORC, as they wind down that season and cap things off at Crandon, later on this month, or I guess not this month, the way it falls, Labor Day, it will be in September this year, but you know what I'm saying. Anyways, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we got Amy Houde calling in to cap off the show, and then we've also got her special guest, Jacqueline Carrizosa. She's going to be calling in, and we're going to be talking about the all-women's female Vegas to Reno bike team. All that and more coming up on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris driver Jim Beaver. I host the Down and Dirty Radio Show, travel the country announcing motorsports events, and I compete against some of the toughest drivers in the world in my number 15 trick truck in the Best in the Desert Championship. I know what it takes to survive Baja and races like the Mint 400 or Vegas to Reno, and that is reliability. When I choose to train, pre-run, or just take my family out to the desert or dunes on the weekend, I trust Polaris RZR products exclusively. I need the absolute best performing vehicles that I know will get me back safe fast, and without any problems. The only vehicle on the market that I know will do this is the Polaris RZR. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world driving the Polaris RZR. Check out the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered, packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XD Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XD Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm your host, Jim Beaver, and man, talk about a fun show so far. R.J. Anderson, Jen Hellstrom talking some short course, some RZRs, talked a little rally, and right now we're going to switch gears a little bit, talk some two-wheel action. We got Amy Houde calling in just a second, and joining her going to be Jacqueline Carrizosa, and we're going to talk about that all-women's female bike team in Vegas to Reno, and also talking about some of the other stuff Jacqueline's involved in. She's also firearms instructor, shoots a lot of guns, rides dirt bikes. She also former Navy personnel. She's a veteran, so definitely going to be a fun interview having her on air. And also she was a Miss Mint finalist a few months back, so I got to meet her and know her and Amy Houde friends. So should be a good time. And talking about pro motocross. Going to get to some results here in a little bit with Amy, but also the Team USA roster for Motocross and Nations was announced. We got looks like Barsha, Cooper Webb, and Jeremy Martin. That's going to be the three riders representing the United States in Motocross of Nations. So definitely got to. Definitely going to look forward to that. It's going to be solid. I always love that. Always love that event. Just because it pits, United States versus, European countries, and kind of proves who's best. You always want to know who's best. Well, this shows it. Obviously, a lot of us were excited for Villapoto and the FIM, motocross championship, and injury sidelined him, and ends up retiring. So we never really quite got to see. Obviously, I thought 2 years worth in FIM, and he would have walked away with a title. I think he's that good. But first year would have been learning tracks, and we saw he was successful already out of the box. But taking some wins and some podiums. But always thought year number 2 he was just going to dominate over there. But we will never know. Motocross kind of winding down as well, and then kind of the cap off to the whole year is that Monster Energy Cup in Vegas in October. Still lots of two-wheel stuff to go, but we're going to talk a little desert racing two-wheel, and and just look at this entry list, and how many entries are in not only motorcycle, but trophy truck and everything else. It's going to be quite impressive. But I got our first caller here, and I think this is probably going to be Jacqueline. How's everything going?
Good. How are you?
Doing solid. I got to ask you, Jacqueline. I call you. I know it's Jacqueline Carrizosa, right?
Yes.
Okay. You go by anything short, Jackie? What do you go by?
Jackie's good.
All right, Jackie's good. I just had to know. I knew there had to been something short there, and I just wanted to make sure we're not gonna stumble over things. How's everything been?
Oh, it's outstanding. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. Still waiting on Amy to call in. She's slacking today, but yeah, we can catch up. Definitely, I haven't seen you since the Mint, so I know keeping up with you on social media, you are pretty busy.
Yeah, you got to keep rolling.
Yeah, exactly. So, tell me, first off, I know you race a lot of works. Oh, there's Amy, so we'll let her join us here. How's everything going, Amy?
Works is amazing. I also Ironman the night race recently, which was pretty awesome. And then we are racing the Vegas to Reno race with Motivators Motorsports, which is an all-female team. We recently got sponsored with a new 2015 450X, and that kind of stemmed off of the Mexico Race for Boobs race, and then in return stemmed like a whole female team, which includes Tatum Sick and Morgan Tenke.
Well, and Morgan, she's absolutely solid. Hey, Amy, how's everything going? Thanks for joining us.
What's up? Hey, guys. Hey, Jacqueline.
Hello.
My long-lost American, twin. I love this girl. She's freaking awesome. I miss you.
I know. Jackie,
I miss you too, Amy.
Yeah, Jackie's going to be solid this week. She's come playing with us in the desert, and she's going to be doing Vegas to Reno. So,
I know. That sounds so rad. I'm so jealous. Why do I live in Canada?
You got to come down and race.
Down there. I know. I honestly think I'm going to, come down this winter and, stay with you for a couple weeks, Jackie, and you can take me adventuring on some off-road stuff.
Yes.
You're living the life, man. It looks like you're having a blast and doing some really cool events that are, kind of like milestones and just, one for the books, definitely.
Milestone is always fun. I don't think milestone is ever not fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Jackie, tell us a little bit more. Obviously, there's 3 of you. You're running Vegas to Reno, 550 miles. How are you guys going to split up the riding?
So we got 3 girls. We're basically all doing, I'm doing 180 miles, 182, and then I got Morgan doing 161, and Sam's going to be doing 202. So we've got it pretty kind of as evenly split up as it could have, given to where the pits and all the possible rider changes could take place at. So
yeah,
We've got it pretty evenly spread out as much as we could. And, there's a lot of guys actually doing the Ironman this year for this race, which is pretty gnarly too. But I think this year we're actually the only all-female team. And we actually got really super lucky, and we pulled first off the starting line, so it should be really interesting.
Nice. How have you been training for this? Because I know, you've been doing a lot of work stuff, and that kind of runs like 45-minute, motos and stuff like that. I mean, how have you been training? I mean, this is going to be hours on a bike.
Right. We went down to California, did some testing on the 450X. We did some more high-speed training, so everything is just completely pinned, to where you can't even get the throttle anymore. And I blew a couple turns in some corners that were kind of scary. And then I bicycle a lot. I hit the gym probably like 4 times a week, and endurance is super key. And then eating healthy as much as I can. And then the other girls too, that they've been hitting the gym, bicycling, and we got all meshed in with work, so
yeah,
we still got that 9 to 5.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, you're 9 to 5.
Keep in mind that Jackie's from like the hottest state in America, and I don't even know how they go out and ride and race on the weekend. Never mind doing anything else that's functional. Like, I don't even think I would mow the grass in Vegas. Never mind riding a dirt bike. So, the heat must play a good kind of training factor, because we really learned how to ride under, like, extreme conditions.
Oh, totally. The heat is, like, it gets so gnarly. But the interesting thing is that you actually don't want to stop when you're riding in the heat. So you want to, like, always keep going, and you always want to carry water. So we pack water, and I pack, like, electrolytes and stuff. But when we're out there, it makes it so fun because you don't ever want to stop, because you know that once you stop, you're going to be, like, pouring sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the truth. It's just like it's like the trophy truck. If we have to get out to change a flat, it's it's like it just totally takes you out of your rhythm, and then it's like, then you get hot and sweaty, and it's like, oh crap, if you can get in a rhythm, it doesn't matter if it's 115 degrees. It seems like when the air is hitting you, even though it's hot air, it's still, it still keeps everything flowing. But the minute you have to stop, it's just like game over,
Yeah, totally.
So, you're funny. You talk about your day job. I'm going to say you've got probably one of the most fun day jobs I know of, right? You do a lot of firearms instructing and stuff?
Yeah, I teach full automatics and concealed carry permits.
Nice. And we did have a listener question. Was Mike from North Carolina? He shot me a tweet last night. I don't remember his Twitter handle at this point. I just remember Mike from North Carolina. Anyways, he wants to know, what is your favorite gun to shoot?
Oh, that is such a good question. I love all guns, first off. But I would have to say
America.
Any 308 full auto. Yeah. So I'm total American. Any 308 full auto is like, it's just awesome because once you can harness that power, it's like, a 223 full auto is cool. It's really cool. The power behind it is very, it's sufficient. But when you can handle a 308 full auto and just like let it rip and you can stay on target and have a nice grouping, it just really opens up your mind, and you want to shoot like bigger and better guns. This weekend I actually just shot a 600 overkill, which the bullet is like the size of my hand.
Jeez.
And I shot it standing, and the recoil on it is pretty massive. But I'm not gonna lie, the anxiety buildup for that was pretty tense. I was like kind of like dancing in my shoes, But once you shot it, it wasn't that bad, but it does rock your world a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Amy and I have had random conversations on the zombie apocalypse. So when that happens, you've got a bunker for us to come, right?
Yeah. I've strategically made friends with the appropriate people.
So you better have a plane flight booked if the apocalypse comes, Amy. You got to get to Vegas, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's the place to go.
We need to build her a teleporter.
Yeah, exactly. I'm only 2 hours from you, so I can make it work. But it's going to be a little bit longer. So
we just got to get her pilot's license.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. That's kind of scary. Amy Houde with a pilot's license. I don't know. I kind of question that at this point.
Oh, no, I can do it.
Oh, geez.
You could take off and land right in front of our house. It's easy all day.
Yeah. So what else is for you on tap this week, Jackie? I mean, take us through the week. Obviously, I know what I've got going, but obviously I got to qualify on Wednesday, and I've been drinking fluids for the past week, trying to get hydrated and stuff. I mean, take us through your week though on a bike. You guys get up early. We get to sleep in a bit, but you guys got to get up early on race day.
Yeah. So on Thursday, we're going to be at Baja pits from 9 to noon. We got posters. We're signing them there, sponsored by Baja Pits. And then Motorcycle Superstore, a couple of other people. Real popular, Optimum Logistics, Baja Nikki. And then we have on Thursday afternoon, or I guess it's nighttime, it's 5 p.m., you have that mandatory meeting. And then we got to turn around and be up by 5:15 on the line, ready to start. And then the race starts for us at 5:45 a.m.
Yeah, it's definitely early for you, especially those meetings, because people don't realize the start line of Vegas to Reno. We have that meeting. I can't remember what time it starts on Thursday, but then Beatty, where the start is 2 hours away. So whether you go that night or in the morning, still makes for just a long time. It's the logistics behind Vegas to Reno are nuts.
Yeah, you're really time crunched, and the neat thing about it is that there is so many people that are so supportive and positive about it that like every pit is going to be outstanding, and I have full faith in like this race, and the girls we picked couldn't have been better girls, and they're such troopers. They actually just did the 12-hour Glen Helen race, and they dominated that race. They did amazing.
Wow. Yeah, Morgan, I mean, I'm super familiar with her. I mean, she just kills it. She's definitely a veteran, and on two wheels, you've got a solid group of teammates,
Oh my gosh, she did the King of Motos. She's one of 2 girls to ever finish the King of Motos. She's outstanding.
I don't know if I could finish a mile of King of Motos, more or less the entire event. That's just nutty.
That whole race tests you, I'm pretty sure grown men cry in that race.
Yeah, I know for a fact they do. I know guys who have. So, yeah, it's pretty rough. I don't know. What about you, Amy? What do you think about all this desert stuff?
I kind of want to get invited. I'm sitting here, where's my invite? I'm down. It's cool. Yeah, I know Tatum actually. We kind of grew up as young girls racing. I was from Canada, she was from the States, but we go to Loretta Lynn's qualifiers and a couple nationals and stuff, and we always knew who each other was and followed each other on Instagram and social media. I guess back then it was in Facebook, but I've always kind of followed her journey, and I know she took a little hiatus there, and she was cleaning pools for a little bit of time, trying to make ends work just to get herself to nationals. And she is one of the most talented women racers I've ever met. She is so badass on a bike. I always looked up to her. She's younger than me. It's funny, but I looked up to her racing for a long time. She's really cool chick, and has a really cool riding style. And everyone used to call her Tatum. She's PH sick. I don't want to say the word out loud, but she always has this badass sick riding style. So she is as a person, but no, she's gnarly. So I think you got a solid team just knowing Tatum. And she's quite a personality. She seems like she'll, bring a lot of life to the team. I mean, you as well, but a cool group of girls. I want to be invited next time. Same.
The beautiful thing about all the girls is that there's no ego involved in our team, which I love. We could be on or off the bike, and we're equally laughing just as loud. I think that makes it. She's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about, right? You want to have a group of girls who are solid, reliable, but also, who you can have fun with, even if you blow a tire in the desert, end up dead last, and you'll just laugh about it and enjoy the whole experience. And that's definitely, what you want to even finish good. You need a group of people who you can trust and, rely on. So it's not
exactly
about who's the it's about who you can get along with and work the best as a team together. So, solid team you got there.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm just looking at open expert entry list, and you guys have just a solid group of competitors. I mean, it's a pretty big class. So, yeah, you guys first off the line, definitely going to be an advantage for you.
Yeah, we, the draw for that, so you don't get to pick that. When they showed the drawing, we did the happy dance for like 2 hours. We were like, yes, the less dust you got to ride in, the better, and the pro teams that are ahead of us are going to be probably significantly ahead of us because they race the Baja races, the score races, code races. I mean, they're pre-trained to go way above the limit, and this will be our first race doing this all together and doing, basically like 100 miles an hour down the road. So we're pretty stoked.
Yeah, should definitely be awesome. So what's up next for you after this, Jackie? You doing some more works races? What's on tap for you the rest of the year?
Oh yeah, there's 2 works races left. There's the Glen Helen race. There's the one at Prim, which is the championship race. I actually will be hitting up the Trans World race in the end of August, and there's an endurance race in Mexico we're doing. It's a 12-hour endurance race, and it's in October. And there's going to be 4 girls on that team, and it's we're going to go down and race the Mexican ladies and men, actually.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds like you're definitely pretty busy between that and all the shooting, and you even do some model work here and there, right?
Right. So the shooting has been going fantastic as well. We actually are just doing a calendar with Olympic shooters, competitive shooters. We have a lot of females that are into promoting female safety and firearms awareness for the states. And a lot of them are veterans. They're really strong females, especially the Olympic shooter females. They represent us, internationally. We have this calendar coming out with a clothing company run by former military special forces. It's called the Pipehitters Union, and they're basically doing a badass female calendar. There's no bikini shots. It's just all just women, and the photographer that does it, it's going to look like a movie scene each time you flip the calendar. It will be a really intense photo. His photography is really amazing. It'd be like watching a Quentin Tarantino movie while you're flipping it.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures you had posted on Instagram there with the dog. It looks really cool. It looks like a movie, like you said.
Yeah, the dog. So the dog is a working dog. That dog can take you out. He actually just took down this robber the other day. The guy was telling me, and wouldn't let go until he's commanded to, which is pretty gnarly. And then I'm supposed to be standing here with him, hey.
Nice doggy.
Yeah, nice. Well, you got anything left for Jackie before we let her go, Amy?
Oh, I just want to know, are you going to be going to Monster Cup with me, Jackie? We met up again last time in Vegas for the last round of the Supercross Series. So are you going to be coming to Vegas, making a debut?
Of course. I'll always accept a date from Amy. Woo!
Hey! Okay, awesome.
Awesome. I'm sure you guys will have a ton of fun out there at Monster Energy Cup. I know I'm definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully I can make it out there to that, too. It's going to be... It's always a fun event, so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will see you later this week.
If you ever want to shoot, go ahead.
No. I'd love to come out and shoot, go riding or whatever. It'd be super fun.
Yeah, it'd be totally worth it to check out. You can come see me at my range.
Yeah, for sure. I'll this week I got a ton of stuff with Vegas to Reno, but next time I'm in Vegas, I'll definitely shoot you a text. I'd love to come out shooting with you, and I'm sure you can give me some pointers and make me a lot better shot. Pretty good with a rifle, but a handgun, it's quite interesting. Yeah.
I'm terrible at everything. So I'm not a very good shooter. I don't have the patience. I can my first couple of shots, I'm great because I'm all focused and everything, and then I completely lose interest, and I'm like, oh my god. Squirrel.
A
lot of focus and concentration.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so you're signing autographs on Thursday. I'll definitely stop by and check you out, Jackie.
Yeah, thank you. You'll definitely want one from Tatum and Morgan too.
Yeah,
They're
for
be
sure.
There as well, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah, maybe I'll get you guys to sign something. We'll do like a giveaway on the show next week or something, like giveaway like an autograph poster or something from you three, something like that, something cool.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll set something up like that. But yeah, appreciate you taking the time to call in. I'll be around all day Thursday. Going to do some radio with General Tire, and obviously we've got the truck that's going to be there on display and stuff. So I'll definitely swing by and hit you up.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jackie.
Good luck,
Thanks
Jackie.
for having me on the Down and Dirty.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome anytime. Awesome. Well, how's everything going with you, Amy?
Hey, I'm good. Surviving. Weekend was hard and long, tough.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys went out and you guys had some I saw you girls brought home some hardware.
Yeah, it was a solid weekend. Some ups and downs. A little bit challenging. I had just a little tip over. So it was 2 days. We had back-to-back Saturday, Sunday racing. I went 1-2 both days, which kind of sucked. The first day I just fell over, but it was actually one of my best races all season, having to come from dead last and make my way through the pack. And pretty stacked class. There was a lot of fast girls, so it was awesome being able to, see what I had. And, it's always fun being able to pass people. When you're always out in front, kind of riding alone, you don't really get to challenge yourself and, try new lines and work on passing and making your way through the crowd. So I always kind of enjoy having a little bit of a get-off. I just tipped over. But, it was fun. And I was so mad. I literally had put my head down, and I was, out for a vengeance. I passed people so fast and was, choosing all these crazy lines and was just going wide open. It was awesome. It was, the funnest race, and I didn't even win. And then the second day, I went 1-2 again, where this girl from Saskatchewan, she sometimes comes over and races a couple Manitoba rounds, literally jumped over my head and did all these big triples and stuff on the track. And it was a super tight race. I would catch her and almost pass her in every corner, and then she would just jump over me. So I had to give it up to her. The girl had some serious balls and rode awesome and took the win. But, yeah, I don't know. Something's going on right now where I got a little bit of fear kind of with jumping. I don't know. A lot of people I know that are crashing and having some pretty bad injuries. And it kind of, messed with my head last weekend. A friend of mine got airlifted out of the track, and he's not doing too good. So I'm just kind of in this weird funk where I'm playing it safe and not even doing jumps I did last year. I don't know, something I got to shake and get out of my system. I'm not really too sure what's going on, but I guess you always get to that point where, if I'm not practicing at a lot of different tracks. I kind of just show up to the races, at all these different tracks. I have one track I practice at every week, so I don't really get the option to, try new jumps. And, there's triples out of a corner or there's triples out of, straightaway. It's really different. There's different technique for every type of jump. And if I don't practice it, I'm not really confident just going and hucking it in a race. So, I don't know, I got this weird thing going on. So I'm kind of disappointed, but there's always next weekend, right? So I always just got to come back home, regroup, and think about what I got to do to get over that fear. So this week I'm hopefully going to ride a lot and train a lot with some of my 250B friends who can kick my butt and help me jump a little better. So, yeah, a little sad.
Yeah,
but it was an awesome weekend. I went with all my girlfriends, and we had this huge feast. I mean, this is a better meal than you can get in a 5-star restaurant that we make with this little freaking, Coleman grill piece of crap barbecue, and we have this huge meal at the track. It's awesome. Everybody comes from all the trailers and comes over, and we set up a big table, and we just feed all of our friends. And then we had a big bonfire. So, when we go to the races, we go for the whole experience. It's not just about whether you win or lose. We want to go and make the whole weekend fun. So, it was great.
Awesome. You going to bring the motorhome down to Terracross in Minnesota? Is that going to make the trip?
I'm not bringing that motorhome. That thing won't make it past friggin' the border. It's having a border. But I'm trying to convince some of my girlfriends we're going to probably drive down in the Danger Ranger. my Danger Ranger is my partner in crime. Got to go to all the cool events.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I'm going to – Ashley and Taylor will probably come with me and be my pit crew for the weekend.
Nice. That means they do realize that means they're doubling as my pit crew, right?
Yeah, that's okay. They will. Yeah. But, okay, before we leave, I have to touch base on Pro Nationals because holy crap, what an awesome weekend of racing it was. I didn't get the chance to watch it, obviously, because I'm racing, but I do follow the highlights, and I follow on Twitter during the day and Instagram. You know, I'm, like, avidly watching the RacerX Twitter feed and, you know, RacerX Twitter or Instagram and everything. But holy crap, man, Joey Savacci getting his first win overall is awesome. But then Trey Canard, I mean, our homeboy favorite, everybody loves Trey Canard. Guy has no luck, tons of injuries, so many setbacks, and, you know, it does not get him down, and he finished with a third overall. I'm just so pumped. And now, after this weekend with 3 rounds left, we have a 2-point difference between Marvin and J-Mart. So it is literally down to the line. Like we talked about all season, like this is what we want to see, that battle to the finish. It is do or die. No one can make a mistake. Oh, my God. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. Then did you see they announced the Motocross of Nations? I kind of led into to your interview. I don't think you caught that, but made the announcement for that team. Yeah, Jeremy, and then we've got Cooper, and then Barsha.
Yeah, I mean, Barsha, he's been solid. I mean, he's kind of that he's been that dark horse this year who surprisingly has had some very outstanding finishes and extremely consistent and just an animal, like being where an animal needs to be. He's just, I mean, no one really expected him to finish as good as he has so far, and I'm surprised they didn't choose Dungey. Like, what?
Well, it seems like sometimes maybe they like to shake it up a bit, you know what I mean? Because I know Dungey's been on the team before.
Every year. But, no, Barsha's a good choice. I think he'll be great.
Yeah.
Martin, I don't know.
Yeah.
Cooper, totally. I mean, I think it'd be cool to have Joey there. He's been extremely consistent all year. Joey has not had a bad race, and he came from, you know, he's a privateer. This is one of his first years having the full year. He was hurt last year, so.
Yeah, well, and Joey, he was good in Supercross. I mean, he's just been there all year. I mean, he's a guy that's quietly, both in Supercross and outdoors, had a very, very good year.
Mm-hmm. And again, he's coming from injury, so it's good to see him being, you know, really successful and stuff. But I'm sorry, I have to comment on Jeremy Martin's evil smug on the podium. Like, if the guy's not in the middle, every podium photo, he looks like he just hates the world. Like, you can smile. Second place is totally fine.
Yeah.
Every comment on the RacerX feed was like, what's wrong with Jeremy? He does not look happy. But yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny when pros don't appreciate, you know, where they finish. Like, I know you didn't finish first overall, but, you know, you should just be happy that you got the opportunity to be on the podium and to be racing. So, because a lot of people pick up on that stuff, you know, like people can pick out the poor sports very easy.
Oh, absolutely, you know, and people get wind of it or online and they'll just assassinate you.
Attack you, I know. And that's like all the comments I was reading. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, one way or another, put a smile on your face if you're on the podium because you'll get attacked. You know, it's just the way it is. So, what's up next for you?
Anderson. He, like, and when he was supposed to be kind of, you know, winning, he was getting like thirds and seconds. He still had the biggest smile ever on the podium. That guy just looked like he loved life, and that's why he has such a big fan base, is because he just looks like he enjoys what he does, and he's a great role model for the sport. So. Yeah, I agree. He's definitely had. You know, he's always happy. He's always stoked. I mean, there's quite a few guys like that, you know, and always fun to see that. So what's up next for you? Next weekend I got a race here in Manitoba again. I'm winning the point series right now for the Manitoba Women's Championship, and I'm missing 2 more rounds for Terracross. So right now I'm trying to just kind of extend that points lead. So I can hopefully try to clinch the championship. But so you can drop three rounds for your points.
Mm-hmm.
You can drop 3 races, but I've already missed 3 races due to all my traveling and adventuring that I do. So I'm in a good spot right now where the other girls do have a couple rounds they have to drop, and they will lose points, where the points I have now are the points I get. I don't have to lose any because I don't have to drop any because I've already missed a lot. So I'm just really trying to kind of make a nice cushion. You know, I don't really want to race here because there's some cool races in the States I want to go to, but, you know, I really want to clinch a championship. I haven't had one in a while because I travel a lot in the summer, so I haven't actually had the time to race a full season here in Manitoba, but it'll be nice to win again and win a championship for Honda Canada and, you know, for my sponsors and everything. So I'm going to tough it out. And, I mean, and I still got a lot of competition here. There's a lot of fast girls, and I'm not winning everything. So I always feel like there's room for improvement, and I want to finish this season off strong and, you know, just finish stronger and better and, you know, with a bigger lead if I can. So.
Awesome. All right, well, we got to let you go and wrap things up here, but as always, lots of fun, Amy, and I got to go race some trophy trucks. We'll catch up with you next Monday.
Have a good time.
All right. Thanks,
Bye.
Amy. Bye. All right, that was Amy Houde. We got to wrap things up, but big shout out to Polaris RZR, General Tire, Rigid Industries, DirtFish Rally School, UPR.com, Blue Water Resort and Casino, Jamar Brakes, KMC Wheels, Parker Motor Company, Gibson Exhaust, MTX Audio, and Intense Tees, as well as RJ, Jen, Jackie, and Amy. Give me a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/DownAndDirtyShow and DownAndDirtyShow.com. For all those back episodes. It's been fun. It's been real, but we got to wrap things up here. Don't forget, tune in to our show live from General Tire this Thursday from Contingency at DownAndDirtyShow.com. As always, game on.